show this off. You can't enter any contest. I can't enter this in the state contest. I can't enter it in the national one. I can't enter it even in the conference one. I can't. It's copyright. I can't show her skills off. That's the whole reason for you guys is that I don't want copyright, because when you do something immaculate like this, I want to be able to show you guys off. I want you to be able to show yourself without any copyright restrictions. You guys understand that? She actually has a couple photos where, I mean, even if she would have taken a friend, take a photo, exact same pose, it would have been awesome. And I could have sent it on to state and national contests. Okay? So that's the whole reason I'm kind of particular on not doing copyright. Right? So be aware that she did an immaculate drawing. But can't do anything with it right now. So, want to make that point real quick. All right, here's what we're going to do. We are going to start the post drawing. I'm going to walk you guys through this series of steps so that you guys can understand how to approach this and how to approach every drawing. I'm going to help you guys. So, here we go. And I'm going to talk for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to demo. So bear with me. You guys have in your notes proportion, value, texture, correct? Hopefully you guys have taken all those notes. We're going to focus on, the next few days, just the proportions. Nothing else. I don't want you shading whatsoever. Do not shade. Here is why. I've had so many times where a person starts to draw and they want to start with the eyes or the mouth or the hair. And they start shading it, okay, specifically the eyes. They do an awesome drawing of the eyes. But then all of a sudden they decide, oh, let's actually finish the rest of this. They start drawing and realize, whoa, the eyes are way too high. I got to erase them all. Do I have to erase them, Mr. Banner? Yes, they're not in the right spot. So they erase them, draw the eyes again, and they get done. And you look at it, and there's these ghost eyes in the forehead. Because they couldn't erase it all. Because it went so dark. It was like 4 eyes. It looks like an alien. Can't tell you how many times that's happened. We want to get our proportions before we start shading. So bear with me. All right, I'm going to run down the techniques real quick. Someone want to volunteer to read them out loud to me when I say next? Anyone? 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 Thank you, Carol. All right, first one. What do you got? Yes, for proportions. Line direction. Same thing as the stools. Is this line going down the left? Is it going down to the right? I'm gonna demo. You're gonna see my thinking in my brain. So hopefully I communicate how I think. Next one. Perfect. Use pencil. So there's gonna be quite a few times. Almost everyone's this is gonna happen. I'm gonna go around to you and be like, hey, that line. Put your pencil down. Put it as a vertical. Is it going down the right or down the left? People will say, oh, it's going down the left. Well, why'd you draw it going down to the right? Oh, I don't know. Use that as an indicator. Next one. Bowl and cap. Simple enough. A lot of these are, you can tell easily. This is a cap. This is a bowl going in the opposite direction, such as the curve of the mouth. The difficult part is when we get to the eyes. A lot of you think that that bottom of the eye is just going to be a bowl. No, it's not. Definitely not. There's a subtle cap in it. It's almost a straight line. It's not even a bowl even. Okay, so think of it. We'll get to that later. Yes, next one. What's it? Height versus width. In your brain, have you guys ever gotten to where you draw something and you're like, that looks too fat, that looks too tall, that looks too wide? That is your right brain talking to you. You are usually right when you think that. So a lot of things you can do is check your height versus width, such as my finger here. Say I draw the finger. I can check the width, count. 1, 2, 3. I can use that. Height versus width. Compare that. Say if I do the face, I can compare the height versus width. That one. We'll get to that. Next one.
Negative shapes.
Negative shapes. This is actually how we're going to start the drawing. We're not going to draw him. We're not doing that at first. We're going to draw these negative shapes here. That's how we're going to start out the drawing. If we get those negative shapes correct, we got the outline correct. Next one.
Reference size.
Reference size. This one's huge. You got your piece of paper here. I'm going to allow you guys to trace. We're going to do the exact same size. Trace the box. See the box? Trace that. It is exactly the same size, so we can reference the sides to everything. We can plot points. Say I want to figure out where this point is. All I have to do is take my fingers or my pencil, take this, shift it over. It's exactly that. Say I want to figure out this point. Take my fingers, shift it over. Say bottom of the chin. Take it, shift it over. Yeah. Use that. Use your fingers. Use your pencil. Some people like to do everything. Don't use a ruler, by the way. They might just take the end, mark it with their fingers, shift it over. You can do that. Next one. Yeah, so exact thing. I kind of copied myself there. Next one.
Reference points, lower section.
Okay. Here's the big one that I want you guys to transition to. This is more advanced. Hopefully you guys can do this. Whenever I am drawing, every single line that I'm making, every single little mark, especially with proportions, I am trying to reference another point. So for instance, I got my big outside shape. When I start drawing this line, I get to this point, guess what I'm doing? I am looking up to this point to reference it. I'm looking up to this point to reference it. Where is it comparison? I might get to this point, draw this hand. When I start drawing the mouth, if I start right here, guess where I'm looking? I'm looking over here. What is it compared to that point? Or if I start at this point, I'm going to compare it to the eye point. I'm comparing every other point. Start comparing reference points. Next one. Wait, say that again. Oh, same thing. Reference points above, reference points to the right and to the left. Okay, my bad. Alright, so when we start this, don't start with the face. Outside shapes, negative shapes, big shapes to small. If we start outside and big to small, these small shapes are going to be easy to place. If we just start with the eye right now, it's going to be one of those where we're just like, put it down. Is that correct? I don't know. But if we have the big shapes, we can reference it in the big shapes. We can compare it to the big shapes. Details last. Big shapes, then work to the small shapes. Get your details last, and then start shaping. The other question I had, someone asked me, can we draw it upside down? Yeah, you can. Do you want to turn it upside down so you don't think in terms of this is a coat, this is a hand, this is an eye, this is whatever. If you want to turn it upside down, yes, do that. I even have some advanced students turning it upside down still when they start drawing. Perfect, awesome. All right, I'm going to demo. What I'm going to show you guys is this. Someone asked, can we draw a grid? No. I do not want you drawing a grid. I'm one of the few schools in the conference that grid is a big, or in the state, grid is a big no-no. The reason for it is because eventually, by your time you're a junior and a senior, you can do this without a grid and not even blink. It's like a crutch. Okay, imagine you break your leg. Boom, broken. Some of you guys have already done that or done something like that. You got a crutch. You use the crutch to help you get around. That's what a grid does. It helps you do things correctly and do it very well. You get around. But as you start to heal, imagine if you just kept on the crutch. That's all you did. Is that foot going to grow stronger? No, it's going to still be weak. They force you to eventually get rid of the crutch and walk on the foot, and it hurts. Your drawings are going to hurt. You're going to go through some things that are not so pretty. There are going to be times where you want to just rip up the drawing and say, screw it, I hate Mr. Van Oak. That's okay, because we're getting better. Right? We're going to eventually get there, to the point where you don't need it. Now, that being said, I'm going to start off baby steps here with you guys. What I'm going to allow you guys to do, instead of drawing a grid, instead of doing the folds, and folding a grid, I'm going to help you try and visualize the grid. So what I'm going to allow you guys to do, for the picture, you can fold it, or I should say, roll it in half, and you can crimp where the middle is. You guys see that? See the crimp? Okay. Then I can roll this to the halfway point, crimp. There's my quarter mark. To the other side, crimp that. Notice I'm not folding. But now I have where my half and quarter marks are. Do that for all 4 sides. That'll help you visualize a grid. You guys get what I'm talking about here? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. The next step. Here's a big don't do. Don't fold your paper. Don't crimp your paper. Don't wrinkle your paper. Try to keep it as flat as possible. I've had immaculate drawings that come in. Look, it's immaculate, isn't it? Yes, it looks immaculate, except for the crappy wrinkles all over. Don't do that. Try to keep it as flat as possible. So, instead of crimping your paper, here's what I'd like you to do. I'm going to demo this. Oops, I should have erased this again. Okay. So, here's, yeah, are you getting in it? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. All right, so here's my piece of paper.
You're good,
Roughly
Hunter.
the same size. Guesstimate roughly where quarter is. Notice how my hand just kind of moves like this? It's my right brain trying to judge the space back and forth. I'm kind of looking at the big space, trying to cut it in half. I'm going to put little tick marks. So roughly see, it doesn't have to be perfect. I do not want you using a ruler. I'm roughly getting where those halves and quarters are. That'll allow you to reference things. All right, here we go. I'm going to draw this on here and think out loud for you so you can understand how I think. Here we go. First thing is, I need to trace my box. This is not going to be exact size, but it will. Whatever. Anyway, so I trace my box. I'm going to draw the outside shapes, big to small. I'm then also going to think in points. I might give myself a start and stop point. I'm going to draw this negative shape here. Not him, this. Not him, this. Okay. I might give myself a start here. There's 2 ways I can go about this. Actually, a couple different ways. One, I can say this is about a little above half. A little above half start. I can give my exact point. Measure. Boom. I start right here. On the exact point. I might give myself a stop point. This is halfway. It's a little over halfway to stop that shape. So right about here. I have my beginning and stopping point. Ooh, there's a nice little point there. I might reference that. So I might go like this. Over. Notice when I do this, I did roughly that. I can actually find the exact height of it too. You guys notice how I created crosshairs there? That's the exact point. So it's going to be roughly about here. Alright, I just connect the dots and think to myself, high, low, up at an angle. Here we go. Going up, it is a cap. It hits here, going up to the left. A little backwards C, a little backwards C, going up, backwards C, up to the left, curve, angle, I hit my point. Notice how I'm trying to get that shape. Next, I'm looking at this shape. Little cap, going down to the left, subtle curve. This is about quarter right there, okay? Now I might give myself some start and stop points. This, boom, boom. I stop right there. Maybe this point. Actually, that's going to be, this is off. Be right about here. Height-wise, there, boom. All right, so now I keep going. Down to the right, down to the right, down to the right. A little more straight down, but down to the right. Some little small angle. Back, or C. Curve. Little bump. Down to the left, down to the left, down to the left. All right, I got my big shape. I'm going to keep working with these shapes real quick. Where do I stop? Boom. I stop right there. Backwards C, subtle backwards C, going down to the right. I want to get that triangle. Where is it? Yeah, it's right about there. On the right, then subtle change is a little over halfway. This is going down to the left, subtle backwards curve, down to the left, meets at about quarter mark. I can then maybe place my bottom of my chin, roughly about there. Start here, see how I rock through that? Right? Yeah, I went fast. It's not perfect, that's okay. All right, last thing I'm gonna do, or tell you guys before I let you guys go. Go light with your lines. Go light with your lines. Here's why. You're not gonna be perfect right away. You're eventually gonna erase all your lines. So your lines should be a value of at most 3. I shouldn't see a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 value line. I know that's a lot. I know I talked about it. The rest of the time is yours. You get to go. I'm going to turn off rain.